So the PSL 2026 draft is getting closer and closer, and you know what that means. The biggest question for every single fan is, who is my team going to keep? Well, we're about to break down one expert's complete retention list, team by team, and believe me, some of these picks are absolutely going to surprise you. Let's dive right in.
But hold on, here's the first big curveball. As of right now, we don't even know the rules. Our team's going to get to keep one player, two, three? The whole structure is kind of up in the air, which makes every single one of these decisions incredibly high stakes. So for our purposes here, we're working under one key assumption. Each team gets to keep 3 players. And with time ticking away, it's really looking like we're headed for a draft, not an auction. Now that's a huge deal, because it means if you let a player go, you might never get them back. The stakes just could not be higher.
All right, first up, let's look at Peshawar Zalmi and the Lahore Qalandars. And right off the bat, you're going to see 2 totally different ways of thinking here. Do you bet on the future, or do you lock down your biggest, most established stars? Okay, for Peshawar Zalmi, the list kicks off with a couple of big bets on the future. You've got Maz Salakat, who's seen as a major talent coming up. Then there's Ahmad Daniel, who has shown he can handle that insane pressure of bowling at the death. And the third pick? Well, it has to be Babar Azam. The guy is more than just a player. He's the entire face of the franchise.
And you can just feel the passion behind this first pick. The analyst here is basically saying that Maz Salakat isn't just a good prospect, he is a potential generational talent. So to let him go would be more than just a mistake. It would basically be a signal that the team isn't serious about building a champion for the future.
But wait a minute, what about Saim Ayub? This is a huge name to leave off the list. Well, according to our source, the reason is pretty simple. Saim Ayub reportedly wants to play for a different team. And this really highlights why you keep Babar. His brand value is just immense and it's constant, no matter his form or what's happening inside the team.
Okay, let's switch over to the Lahore Qalandars, where the first 2 picks are about as easy as they come. I mean, you're just not going to let go of your captain, Shaheen Shah Afridi, or a core guy who came up through your system like Haris Rauf. But that third and final spot, well, that's where things get really interesting.
So you've got this choice, right? On one hand, there's the proven, all-around brilliance of Sikandar Raza. On the other, the raw, explosive potential of Mohammad Naeem. In the end, the analysts went with youth. Why? Well, the thinking is that retentions are all about the long game, and they believe Naeem is right on the verge of a massive breakout season that could define this franchise for years.
Now let's talk about Islamabad United and Karachi Kings. Here, the strategy kind of shifts a bit. It becomes more about rewarding loyalty and, finding value where other teams might not be looking.
For Islamabad United, the picks are pretty cut and dry. Shadab Khan, he's practically family. The source called him their child. Naseem Shah is the future of their entire pace attack. And Mohammad Nawaz, he's a proven match winner, the kind of guy who can just turn a game around with the bat or the ball. You just don't let that kind of talent walk.
Over at Karachi Kings, the analyst points to 3 core guys to build around, even while being pretty critical of the team's overall vibe lately. You've got Abbas Afridi, a seriously underrated all-rounder, the valuable and experienced Hassan Ali, and Irfan Khan Niazi, who's an elite fielder and maybe even a future captain.
That pick of Hassan Ali actually brought up a really powerful point in the original analysis. The expert talked about the intense heat Hassan has been under ever since a dropped catch way back in 2021, and they asked this really tough question about forgiveness in sports culture. It's just a powerful reminder of the human side of all this and the incredible pressure these guys are under.
All right, now we get to the team that our analyst says has, by far, the toughest decision to make. The team that is, and I'm quoting here, badly stuck. Let's talk about the Quetta Gladiators.
And you can see why right away. Just look at this list. This roster is just overflowing with talent. You have mystery spinners like Usman Tariq and Abrar Ahmed, a veteran pacer in Muhammad Amir, and these explosive young batsmen like Khwaja Nafei and Hassan Nawaz. How on earth do you choose from that? They are absolutely stacked.
So that's the big question, right? How do you possibly pick only 3 from that lineup? You could make a strong case for every single name on there. Who gets left out? It is a serious dilemma.
So, after going back and forth, here's where the analyst landed, and the strategy is crystal clear. Go all in on the future. Khwaja Nafei and Hassan Nawaz are the picks for those long-term cornerstone spots. The third pick, Saud Shakil, is more of a practical choice. He's the captain, and he's a player the owner has invested in heavily. But that means leaving out the biggest name of them all, Mohammad Amir. So why? Well, the analyst sees it as a necessary gamble. It's a clear choice to bet on the future,
prioritizing young guys who can stay on the field over a veteran bowler who, they argue, has some lingering fitness concerns. And finally, we've arrived at our last team, the Multan Sultans. And this situation, wow, it might be the strangest and most complicated one of them all. And it's all because of some major uncertainty happening off the field.
See, the franchise's whole ownership is up in the air. The team name might even change. So the truly bizarre reality here is that a new owner could come in, pay a ton of money for the franchise, and then get handed a roster of retained players that they had absolutely zero say in picking. That makes these three choices absolutely critical.
So who gets the nod? First, Usman Khan, who is described as just a different beast when he's wearing the Multan jersey. Then Usama Mir, a really smart and experienced leg spinner. And finally, Tayyab Tahir, a powerhouse on the domestic circuit who knows Pakistani pitches inside and out.
But this list comes with an absolute bombshell. It means dropping their captain, Mohammad Rizwan. This is, without a doubt, the most controversial call in this entire breakdown. And the analyst's justification? It's brutally direct. Based on his current T20 form, right now, he just doesn't make the cut. It's a ruthless, performance-first kind of decision. So there you have it. That's one expert's vision for the future of the PSL, and it's built on youth, brand value, and some incredibly tough calls. But hey, that's just one opinion, right? So now it's your turn. We've heard what one expert thinks, but what about you? Who would be on the retention list for your favorite team? Drop your 3 essential players down in the comments below. Let's see who you've got.